If I jump for happiness, maybe that will make me feel better. I can't change my habits, I can't put out the fire.
Hello everybody, this is Dan, aka Entertainment WF, aka Page Wizard, aka just blah. I am here to do the Mega Man Eternal Q&A 3. Since we have a lot of questions, I'm going to go really fast, so enjoy. The very first question I have is, how many Wily stages will be there, and will Anchor and Ballad have their own levels like Punk? There are 5 Wily stages, and then each one of the Mega Man killers will have their own respective level. And if you want a nice little tip or heads up, there will be, basically the idea of the game flow is that you beat 2 Robot Masters, then a Mega Man killer stage will appear, and you cannot progress any further in the game, except you can go back to stages you've defeated, well, beaten. But you can't go further, like beating more Robot Masters. You'll have to face the Mega Man killer, or you can go back to previous levels you've already defeated. So it enters a level of strategy with how you'd want to defeat them, because they come in a particular order. Will there be any music not by Kevin? Well, actually, there is quite a bit of music that isn't by Kevin. In fact, actually, more than half of it isn't Kevin music. It's just a bit of a misunderstanding, because a lot of my earlier music I've had on the soundtrack is by Kevin. But the thing about it is, since I was one of the first guys doing this, well, at least in the past decade, you get pretty much there's not much variety, and I'm not a musician, so I'm trying to teach myself how to do things, like I'm playing the ocarina and things like that. I'm trying to play around with Family Tracker, slowly but surely. But aside from that, there's actually been quite a few Omega Man, Mega Man ZX, Seba MK fan, there is Ludus 77. Well, obviously there's Bai. Bai is great. Bai is awesome. He's also contributed some enemies too, but aside from that, there are some other people. Sorry if I forgot you. Gaming Cakes, yeah, there's another one. But aside from that, there's Hertz Devil. Hertz Devil contributed 1. Aside from that, there's Kevin also, but I also contributed a couple tracks myself. When will it be released? Idiotic Game Studios. Idiotic Studio Games. Sorry, I'm just reading things in a particular way. Will it be released? Okay. Well, I'm hoping to get it done by beginning of next year, sometime around February. That's kind of my goal. Omega Mario 89 asks, will there also be released will this also be released as an official NES ROM as well? No. I have no experience doing ROM hacking, so no. If I had more time, maybe, but I don't know. It would just be pointless, because I wouldn't want to be. Because the whole point of this is I'm not doing a ROM. Because if I was doing that, then why would I want anybody to play my game if I'm just going to be emulating the exact same experience? Hence is why I get some critique from people asking me, well, why is it like this? Well, why is it like that? Well, the thing about this is, this isn't a classic Mega Man game. This is inspired by the classic Mega Man game. So you use a lot of the same kind of graphic styles, added up some tracks and actual graphics, and I've used them in a new, unique way, and also has a lot of original stuff too. So that's the idea. So it's best not to be thought of as an emulation, but rather a new experience of the classic series. Okay, Mega Man D1 has a question. Are you going to be putting letters in for the players to collect to spell out hopefully a useful power up that we could benefit from collecting those letters, such as Rush, Beat, or mind-lovingly frustrating as Mega Man, that's 4? Yeah, or is that 5? No, it's 4. That's 4. Yeah. If you do, what will it be? Actually, great question, actually. It is Beat. Beat is the one you have to collect. So if you want to get Beat, you got to collect all 4 letters. 4. Sorry, I'm holding a water bottle. So that's the one. Aside from that, there are a lot of collectibles and hidden things in the game, so you'll have to keep your eye out. Uchigawa asks, hi again. Hope you're doing well. I have 2 questions. 1. Will you be releasing patches to the game to add other playable costumes, skins, such as such as Base, Proto Man, or even Dr. Wily with a gun. And the second question is, have you ever thought of incorporating a different character as the final boss? Wily is cool, but having somebody else such as Zero would be a great twist. Okay, the first question. No, most likely not. Because the game is centered about being Mega Man. Because the whole plot is around Mega Man. So I'm not going to be doing that. It'd just be too much work on my own part because the engine and stuff. Like, I could integrate it, but that would be better if an idea for, like, say, a sequel or something. And the second question is the final boss is Dr. Wily. I've sort of planned that from the beginning. I've wanted a game that... Okay. I wanted a game that has the idea that Dr. Wily is actually a threat. Hero Teen asks, if you incorporate other character skins, will they use Robot Master weapons differently from Mega Man? I already answered that one. There are other weapons though, and they do integrate differently. So I'll briefly mention that. There is the chip system that the game will have. The game will have 16 chips. And it's sort of like the idea if you ever played Mega Man and Base, or otherwise known as, in the Japanese form, Rockman and Fort. The idea that you could put on chips and it'll affect the way you can play the game. So, like, for instance, double jumping, or being able to use a larger charge blaster, or a blaster automatically charged, or you could store them. Or the idea you can do like tri-shots and double shots and things like that. That's where this is kind of going in this direction. So you can integrate these chips with the idea with these special weapons and the normal buster. Okay, I am Mega Man Punch. Asks, will you end up remaking this game in the future by any hack of any Mega Man game such as NES? Or even go beyond and remake the game in the Mega Man 7 style by making it a hack as Mega Man style and the SNES style? Oh, no. I might not. I'm most likely not going to. But I could possibly. Like, if I had the time, I could do that. But aside from that, no. Once you're done the game, will you release a game engine alongside it? Sorry, that's asked by Crazy Rabbit 23. Actually, this is a good question. I've had asked this. I'm not going to be releasing it alongside because my engine is very coupled with the game itself. I know bad programming practice, but at the same time, I couldn't really get around it. Once you get to a certain point with your engine, you'll have to integrate it with whatever you're particularly doing. So that's unavoidable in a game engine. So, plus the fact that I use test-driven development when I develop my stuff, so you can't really decouple it at that point. So I'll just have to do it after. But I've been asked that question, so great question. Another question by Crazy Rabbit 23. Also, will there be special weapons you get to incorporated into puzzles like in Mega Man 7 and 8? Actually, yes, that is definitely a possibility. What'll happen is, especially in the later stages, like the Wily stages, you will definitely need to use them. Like, and actually stages when you can revisit them to find more secrets, they will be special weapons. So, for instance, in Joltman's level, Joltman's level uses the idea of these jolt boxes, and what'll happen is there'll be an electric shock that'll move from box to box in a certain direction or pattern. You have to avoid them. But at the same time, they destroy particular destructible boxes that even some of them can't break. Like, even if, like, the path will not trace them. But if you have Joltman's weapon, you'll be able to break them and be able to get a secret weapon. For instance, there'll be some sort of Mega Man killer weapon. I've already said too much, and maybe possibly a chip.